Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Long's Thursday morning coffee break. My name is Ryan Nedbalski. I'm a sales engineer with Long. Today, we will be discussing electrification and DOAS code compliance. Joined with us from Valent and some of their product updates. John Reisman is going to be joining us. John, welcome. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. So like Ryan said, I'm John Reisman. I'm on the Valent sales team. If you're unfamiliar with Valent, we specialize in high outdoor air units or DOAS units. It's a configurable product offering. We're a sister company to Innovent, which is the custom area on their side. So I'm calling in today from Minneapolis, where we're getting slammed with the heat wave. It's ready. I just checked. It's 87 degrees outside with a dew point of 73 degrees, which is kind of insanely high. It's actually considered tropical in most climates. So enjoy your dry climate out there. Hope you're enjoying it. So in today's presentation, we're going to be covering what has been a hot topic all around the country, a common talking point, but Denver is really into this as well with the new electrification codes that have been coming out, big net zero push. So we're going to talk about that electrification impact and what we offer at Valent to account for that. And then there's also changes to the code for DOAS units that are impacting us as a manufacturer. So I'll touch on that during this short 12 to 15 minute PowerPoint as well. All right, so first, on the Denver code and compliance side, we're going to start with space heating. So this net zero push by Denver, right now we're in 2023. The first big step that impacts us is this 2025 heat pump installations required when we're replacing easy to electrify gas-fired equipment at the end of system life. So that's a big one too. And obviously easy to electrify is kind of vague a little bit, but on the space heating side, so mandatory heat pumps less than 2 years from now, so 2025, about a year and a half. Easy to electrify is a little bit of a gray area, and talking with the Long team out there in Denver, it sounds like the list is growing for what's exempt. But one example of an exemption would be the kitchen makeup air units. Those can still use gas heat. For the most part, though, you are going to be required to use air source heat pumps, it sounds like. One thing is you can add electric heat to your air source heat pumps as a backup or supplemental. And this is nice. We do have, so in Massachusetts also has their own strict code, or more strict than ASHRAE standards. Massachusetts is requiring air source heat pumps to be able to run all the way down to the design temperature without backup help. So it's nice that manufacturers can run their air source heat pumps down to the ambient limit, and then electric heat take over from there to get down to your design day. On the Valent air source heat pump offering, we currently offer this from 5 to 30 tons. On the airflow side, that's 800 CFM on the low end, up to 9,500 CFM on the high end. And then we do have multiple supplemental or backup heat options. The main one that you'll likely be using with this net zero push is electric heaters. And these are full SCR control as standard to give you that good, strong turn down availability. If you do pair this up with gas heat, we have some high turn down options. So depending on the furnace size, we can do up to 10 to 1 or even all the way up to 16 to 1 turn down to really give you that tight temperature control. You might, with a 16 to 1 turn down, might mean you can turn it down all the way to about a 4-degree temperature rise, compared to same size furnace with a 3 to 1 would be a minimum of 20 degrees. So this allows you to keep your furnace tuned in to exactly what you need, and you won't have to cycle it on and off. You can also pair air source heat pumps with hot water coils. So that is an option. To dive more into the features with our Valent air source heat pump, so you can get this in 100% outdoor air configurations or partial recirc. We do sell a lot. So we focus on DOAS units. They're high outdoor air, 100% outdoor air, but we do sell a big percentage of our units have some sort of recirc. So it might be 75% outdoor air, 25% recirc. might be 50-50, might even be 25% outdoor air. We do sell a lot of units with partial recirc, but our units are designed with 100% outdoor applications in mind. We have standardized on the inverter scroll compressor. So with the inverter scroll compressor, there's two big benefits. One is much higher part load efficiency. So we see, compared to the digital, we see about a 20 to 30% improvement on your IEER, which is your part load efficiency. And the other big benefit is sound. An inverter, it's VFD driven. So as you're slowing down or going into part load scenarios, the inverter compressor is just getting quieter. In comparison, a digital, a lot of sound complaints in HVAC equipment are because of digital compressors. Digitals are always running at full speed. They're just loading and unloading. That sound can be pretty annoying if it's in close proximity to people. So inverters just gonna get quieter. On the condenser fan front, we offer EC motor options. So our air source heat pumps, you might only have one condenser fan or you might have four. And if you have multiple condenser fans, you can get the lead fan of the circuit with an EC motor, so it can modulate up and down. And then the rest will be staged or on-off motors. Or you can have the entire bank with EC motors. That single EC option seems to be sufficient for most applications. But there are a couple benefits with the all EC. One is if you have a very energy intensive job or where they're really concerned about energy usage, power consumption, trying to maximize energy efficiencies. If you look at your fan laws, the power consumption will change to the cube of the speed change. So running a fan at half speed, you're only using 1/8 the power consumption or 1/2 cube. Two fans at half speed are more efficient with one fan at full speed and one fan off. So that's one benefit. And the other is sound. So again, going back to sound problems are hard to fix in the field. So being able to do certain things up front will help you avoid them. And running a fan at half speed is obviously quieter, but two fans at half speed are quieter than one fan at full speed and one fan off. We can do side connections. So side supply, side return are going to be available on most of your configurations. And I used to always think this would only be used for ground mount applications, but we actually see this all the time up on roofs. Just needing to work with existing duct layouts or whatever it is, we sell a lot of units with side connections that are going up on roofs. And this will help you avoid, so it's a lot cleaner to be able to just go out the side of the unit than being able to do that side discharge. You can avoid big, tall, expensive funnel curves. On that secondary heater front, I already talked about it a little bit, but you can get it as a supplemental heater or backup. And the supplemental means you can run the secondary heater, that electric heater, if you're using electric heat, you can run that along with the air source heat pump. So say it's 15 degrees outside, we're still running our air source heat pump. If you're not meeting your supply temperature set point, if it's supplemental, then the electric heat will kick on to help out to get us up to our supply temp set point. The other nice part of having it as a supplemental heater is air source heat pumps periodically go into defrost or their defrost cycles. And when they do that, they reverse the refrigeration direction. And instead of running in heating mode, they're actually running in cooling mode for a period of time, for just a few minutes. If you have your electric heater size for supplemental, then you can run the electric heater to make sure you're not dumping in cold air during this defrost cycle. Backup heat means it's going to run when the air source heat pump's locked out or below the ambient limits. They're not going to run in conjunction. The benefit with backup heat is your electrical load, your MCA MOP will be lower. So allows you to downsize your breaker, use smaller MCA MOPs with our unit. And then our air source heat pumps are available with or without energy recovery. And energy recovery itself is another talking point with the new Denver codes. So Denver has more stringent requirements than ASHRAE 90.1. For starters, the enthalpy recovery ratio has to be greater than or equal to 60%. So this is 10% increase compared to the standard ASHRAE 90.1. So 60% enthalpy recovery ratio. Economizer is mandatory, and that can be bypass or controls. And that or can be a nice it can be nice to be able to take advantage of that ore with the controls. So if we can avoid bypass, that means we're using a bigger wheel. We're increasing our efficiencies, and then you can use a VFD to slow down the wheel for economizer or turn off the wheel during economizer. We can do bypass if that's the preferred route. There also is a max pressure drop requirement and min fan efficiency requirement. Our two options for energy recovery, we have energy wheels. So energy wheels remain the most common device in the market. The wheel is going to be sized for your full outdoor air load. And then you can get the wheel with bypass to hit that economizer, or you can get VFDs on the wheel. The VFD will slow down or shut the wheel off for economizer. It also can be used for frost control. We do offer an aluminum wheel as well, if that's preferred. You'll get a similar performance between polymer and aluminum wheel. But we always just say up to the engineer. We offer both to stay flexible. We also offer an enthalpy core. So our enthalpy cores, they can be polymer or fiber. Similar performance between the two. The polymer core is a little more expensive than the fiber core. The big benefit with the polymer core is it can get wet. So you don't have to worry about frost. It can handle frost, and you can rinse it off with a garden hose to clean it, where a fiber core, you do not want to get these wet. So thinking back to these new Denver codes, energy wheel easily hits all of these requirements. Enthalpy cores, if it's a low enough airflow, we're going to be fine. We can exceed 60%. But then you think about this bypass requirement. Now we're downsizing the core, and maybe we'll be around 60, maybe we will be below, but we're going to have a hard time meeting these three requirements with the core. And that's right at the low end of our cabinet airflows. So I suspect wheels will remain the most common device. If you're operating outside of these new energy recovery codes, then the core can be a good option. But just something to think about. It will be trickier to hit that new Denver code with the core compared to the wheel. All right, the last thing I wanted to cover is new code of compliance requirements that are hitting us as a manufacturer. So the standards that have applied for DOAS units 62.1, that's how much outdoor air we need to bring into space. ASHRAE 90.1, that's the energy efficiencies, your IEER, your energy recovery requirements. The new DOE code is this AHRI 920. And this is actually, it's been in the works for many years, and it's finally in effect this week, actually. So Monday of this week, July 24th, as a manufacturer of DOAS units, we're required to list this moisture removal efficiency on our submittals. And then starting in May of 2024, so next spring, we will have to hit a certain ISMRE, this moisture removal efficiency, to legally ship 100% outdoor air units. The metric you're probably more familiar with is IEER. And IER, this is not going anywhere. We still will have to hit this as a manufacturer. If we had, so that new metric at 920 ISMRE, that's only applicable for 100% outdoor air units. So if we had a 99% outdoor air unit with 1% feature, we still have to meet this IEER. So this isn't going anywhere. We still will be fine. We'll still be meeting this as a manufacturer. But this new moisture removal efficiency, it's a more relevant metric for our DOAS units because it's looking at 4 entering air conditions into the unit. And you're kind of in a unique spot out there in Colorado with you're not really concerned with DHUM, but as a manufacturer, we still have to hit this and list it on our submittal. So it impacts us as a manufacturer. And then if you're working on out of territory jobs out there, this will be more relevant for you as far as dehumidification efficiency. All right, so to wrap that up with the new Denver electrification codes that are hitting, heat pumps are going to be more and more common. On the energy recovery side, you have the higher energy efficiency requirements. So energy wheels will be a great option there. And then the new DOE code that's hitting us as a manufacturer as of this week is the AHRI 920, or the moisture removal efficiency. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Ryan.
I appreciate all your help, John. Really good information. Awesome to know that we've got a strong partner in Valent to help us stay ahead of the curve with this changing landscape as we go forward in the HVAC industry. join us next week with Matt Bilsma. He will be presenting Johnson Marcraft air rotation units, air rotation equipment design and application. If you have any questions about today's presentation, please reach out to your Long salesman. And until then, thank you for joining us. Again, thank you, John. Appreciate the help, and everybody have a great week.